SVC Media.
Welcome to the iGaming Daily Podcast, analysing the news from the betting and gaming industry all over the globe, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market.
Welcome back to another episode of iGaming Daily, where today we are joined by a special guest, Ezichim Onweagba, the head of global partnerships at cryptocurrency app Quiddax. But first, a word from our sponsors, Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market, and proud sponsor of today's episode. Ezichim, thank you for joining us on the podcast today. How's your day been so far? Okay.
Hey, Callum. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you today. My day has been fantastic.
That's great to hear. Well, it's a pleasure for you to join us today, and we're going to be talking a lot of crypto and a lot of gaming crypto as well. So, firstly, Ezichim, can you just explain the financial inclusion opportunities that help underbanked populations across many different African countries that I know Quiddax is based in with some of your services?
Mm-hmm. So in Africa today, when you talk about financial inclusion, the first thing that comes to mind is individuals. But financial inclusion actually extends beyond the individual. It affects businesses as well. And it affects businesses in a very different way. Because businesses are highly scalable and have a deeper impact on society and economy, excluding businesses is more detrimental, right? So that's something that we see a lot in Africa. Beyond individuals not being able to access financial services, businesses also suffer the same, right? For example, a mom and pop store in Nigeria who wants to pay a supplier in Europe finds it extremely difficult, extremely expensive, and extremely slow, right? And then that trickles down to its employees, its customers, and, all of that has a domino effect on the society. But what I've found today is entrepreneurs, governments as well, coming together to try to solve that problem. Maybe 5 years ago in Nigeria, you had maybe around the 10 to 15% mobile phone penetration rate, right? But today we're seeing around 85 to 90% mobile phone penetration. So what that means is individuals in rural areas, urban areas can now access financial services from their phones. And then there's also the impact of stablecoins, cryptocurrencies. That's really helped with commerce. So making payments, making cross-border payments, right? So yeah, we're seeing these two things and really impact Africa as far as financial services, financial inclusion is concerned. So stablecoins and mobile phone penetration.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, we've been covering it a lot on Payment Expert, our Payment Expert site, and there's a lot of financial inclusion opportunities when it comes to mobile payments and digital-based payments as well, which is really growing in Africa. But more on Quiddax, Ezichim, you became the first licensed crypto operator in Nigeria last year. I was just wondering, how has the company been able to act on this since receiving clearance?
The reception has been amazing. I think as a company, we're always prepared. We knew that this day was going to come. As a matter of fact, we applied for this license 3 years ago. We're one of the companies in the incubation process of bringing out the regulation. So it's such a huge win and a historic moment for us. It's definitely opened up a lot of opportunities in terms of building trust with existing clients, also building trust with potential clients, right? The moment the license was issued to us, we saw a 200% uptick in clients onboarded, right? And it's a welcome development for not just Quiddax, it's a net positive for every crypto exchange and every financial service provider in Africa, right? Because now banks, other financial institutions, insurance companies, multinationals also have access to cryptocurrency, right? So it really changes the game for cryptocurrency and cross-border payments in Africa. Huge shout out to our regulators, the Securities and Exchange Commission, for working with us to deliver that.
Yeah, cryptocurrency regulation is definitely something that is of a big topic of interest in the United States at the moment, and obviously now MiCA here in Europe. That's obviously going to drive forward, I think, more players in the European market. But Ezichim, you mentioned stablecoins. It's hard to ignore the growth of stablecoins over the past year. They're surging in popularity. They've been used quite a lot for cross-border settlement and cross-border payments. How are Quiddax using stablecoins for your partners within payments, betting, gaming, etc.?
Yeah, so today, businesses in Africa, and I imagine globally, face what we call the holy trinity of cross-border payments, right? It's expensive, it's slow, and it's convoluted, right? Because the world is becoming a global economy, when you look at 60% of the betting companies that work in Nigeria are global. They have their headquarters in Europe, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, but they are all expanding globally. They're expanding to Southeast Asia, to Africa. And this isn't just betting companies. This is fast-moving consumer goods. This is tech companies. This is oil and gas, all sectors of the economy. And payments is still such a huge, huge issue, right? When you think about it, the world is becoming one. You think about the internet, right? We look at money as the internet. So today we all use one internet, regardless of where you are, or regardless of what you do, regardless of the color of your skin, regardless of your sex. We all use one internet. We have the same vision for money, that the world will begin to use one means to transact and one means to exchange value, right? That's what we see with stablecoins. We imagine a world where the whole world can transact easily, right, using one means of exchange, right? So that's something that we really believe in at Quiddax. So yeah, stablecoins has opened up a lot of opportunities for customers and for businesses as well, making expansion easier. So today, you can expand your business to Africa without having to think about the complexities of banking, the complexities of currency exchange, right? That's something that stablecoins has done for us in 2025.
Yeah, brilliantly put there. I mean, I've just came back from a payments event, Pay360 recently, and there was such a growing appetite and discussion around stablecoins and digital currencies that you can definitely see there being a trigger point now for potential mainstream consumer adoption, but also mainstream financial inclusion as well when it comes to, obviously, regions like you mentioned with Africa and so emerging markets where crypto is becoming a lot higher in demand, such as Argentina, for example. So do you believe that African companies should begin to settle cross-border payments with stablecoins? And if so, would it be more beneficial to handle these in an African currency-backed stablecoin, maybe something like a US-backed stablecoin like USDT or USDC?
I'll say there's a use case for both, right? So the USD-backed stablecoins have blazed the trail in terms of that technology, right? So now what's happening is we're playing catch-up and adopting to, the existing framework. So ultimately, both work. Both African stablecoins and USD stablecoins, right? They are more of synergy than, being mutually exclusive, right? So I'll say both of them go hand in hand to deliver the solutions that we want.
Yeah, it was interesting to see that the US-backed stablecoins are obviously dominating the market at the moment, but then obviously you have PayPal's PYUSD stablecoin, and then there's obviously more market competition within that. So it's definitely one for the future. I believe that stablecoins will begin to start its fostering between the mainstream and the companies as well. But for any of our betting and gaming listeners, why should we begin to look into adding crypto/stablecoins as part of their payment processing and payment method offerings?
So the betting space is one of the most competitive spaces I've had the opportunity to work with. So every month there is a new sports betting or casino platform out there, right? And the users are more savvy. They know their onions and their requirements are much higher, right? So one of the things that they ask for is speed. So speed of settlements. When a player wins a bet, they want to be settled quickly. They also want to be able to place bets quickly as well. And in 2025 and, in the world that we're in now, being able to satisfy your customers is a priority for sports betting businesses. And just beyond that, expansion as well, right? If you're looking to open up new markets, stablecoins, crypto is one of the easiest ways and, one of the most effective ways to do that, right? In the sense that today, one of the problems that sports betting companies face is integrating payment solutions in every country you go to, right? So for example, you expand into Algeria, you expand into Egypt, you have to integrate a local payment solution in all of those countries, and then you have to manage them individually, right? But integrating crypto makes it easy for you. You just need to integrate one solution, and then you can collect bets from all of these countries, and then you can settle bets in any of these countries as well. So we're starting to see a trend where sports betting companies are integrating crypto as a means of collection and then as a means of settlement as well. All right. So to be competitive in the space, it's something that is a necessity, I would say, in 2025.
Yeah, when it comes to market expansion as well, that's really interesting to hear that it's becoming a lot more of a worldwide digital currency, should we say, with the type of demand that we're seeing right now. But also there's also the regulatory front that obviously crypto kind of is developing at the moment, I should say. But also, as we know, betting is a very highly regulated sector as well. Is there any pain points that come between those two regulations when it comes to market expansion?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, I mean, of all the time, innovation goes ahead of regulation, right? But I think we've been lucky in a sense with crypto because we've experienced huge interest from the government and significant interest from regulators globally, not just in Nigeria. But what gives us that confidence is the speed at which regulators are willing to move with us. The thesis for that is the Nigerian DX license that we have. It's the first in Africa. And we have today five African countries who are also developing their regulatory framework, right? It's simple. And I like to use Africa as a use case because crypto has seen immense adoption here. So governments understand and have experienced the relevance of cryptocurrency, stablecoin in connecting Africa to the global economy. Central banks have also understood its relevance in connecting Africa to the rest of the world. And that's a huge, huge advantage for us, right? So because of that, they are building out regulation as fast, right, as possible, right? So, where we think that is a trend that's going to continue playing out. Further down, crypto is never going to go away. Stablecoins is not something that the regulator should be afraid of. Instead, it's a tool that can unlock a lot of opportunities for us on the continent. Yeah,
definitely agree there as well, because now I think what we're seeing is more and more players like financial institutions like Visa or PayPal, again, for instance, that they're beginning to start developing these use cases for cross-border settlement as well, developing on blockchain. So there is some real-world use cases there with some major players. So I think it maybe need to push the consumers more towards the adoption. But lastly, Ezichim, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. How is Quiddax looking to develop its offerings throughout the rest of 2025? And is the company looking at any markets, countries that are ripe for cryptocurrency growth that you could enter into?
Yeah, absolutely. So today, we have presence across Africa and Europe. We have clients in Asia as well. We have a lot of our clients in the Middle East. We have a lot of our clients in Europe as well and Africa. However, we're trying to increase our footprint in all of these markets, and then just win more market share for cross-border settlements primarily. And we've also built out a strong cryptocurrency payment gateway. So today, operators can collect bets using Quiddax's APIs, and then you can also settle those bets anywhere in the world with our OTC desk. All right. So 2025, we're looking to consolidate on all of these markets that we're in and, deepen the trust and the level of service that we give out in 2025.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you for your time, Ezichim. And all the best for the rest of the future. And let's see if crypto will become as mainstream as we believe it will be by the end of the year.
Absolutely. Callum, thank you so much for having me today. It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Ezichim.
Thank you for listening to today's iGaming Daily podcast, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market. If you want to find out more about some of the subjects raised today, feel free to explore any of the sites in the SBC News network or check out the latest edition of the SBC Leaders magazine. Happy reading.